Tonight on CTV News, we have a look at a Nobel Prize winner on campus. Then later on, we have a look at some people proposing a new marijuana bill in Colorado.
All that, plus a full weather forecast, sports, and entertainment, starting now on CTV News.
Good evening, and thanks for watching CTV News. I'm Willis Scott.
And I'm Michelangelo Bustamante. And here's what's going on around Fort Collins and CSU.
The Islamic Center of Fort Collins is having an open house discussion on Sunday, March 12, from 11 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. The center's Facebook page says the goal is to welcome and thank the many supporters of freedom of religion in America. The title of Sunday's discussion is Love Your Neighbor as Yourself. The center will provide food for attendees. It invites the public of Fort Collins to attend the discussion.
After months of feeling like her domestic abuse case was hushed by the university, Stephanie Bess is looking for justice. Bess was dating basketball player Gian Clavel when Clavel was arrested twice for domestic abuse, once in November 2016 and then again in July 2015. Bess was the alleged victim in both cases. When Bess found the police had dropped the case against Clavel, she was disappointed by the lack of consequences he received. But when she sought out advocacy with the university, she was even more disappointed by the lack of support she found. Both student athletes, Bess and Clavel, met in the training room. They dated for a year and a half. She also said there was a pattern of abuse. Clavel declined an interview with the Collegian and referred to his lawyer, Eric Fisher, for comments about this incident. According to his lawyer, there was no pattern of abuse. Bess says she has nothing to hide. She wants to tell the truth about Clavel and the university protocol. For the full interview with Bess, you can read it on thecollegian.com.
State Representative Joanne Janal wants to pass bills that will help marijuana businesses. She held a public meeting to talk about marijuana in Muggs Coffee Shop on College Avenue last Saturday. Janal met with community members who are interested in the state regulations affecting the pot industry. She said making marijuana legal on the federal level would increase the industry's tax contributions.
If it could be passed throughout all of the United States, I think that would alleviate a lot of the issues that we're facing as far as our tax base, and maybe providing more monies for education, more monies for transportation, for things that the state of Colorado seems to lag behind in many ways.
Workers from the Choice Organics dispensary presented information about marijuana regulations. The business's compliance officer says college students who use pot should consider themselves representatives of the industry.
Students especially, please be responsible consumers. If you're underage, don't consume marijuana. It's a program and it's a privilege that we get to sell, and people 21 and older get to buy. And those that are old enough to buy, again, be responsible, good ambassadors for the industry.
Colorado State University is the only major college in the state that provides students with the opportunity to study animal sciences and biology. This means that no other schools in the state have any reason to euthanize animals. At most schools, animals they use in their labs are purchased from breeders or slaughterhouses and arrive at the university already euthanized and placed in preservatives. At CSU, this is often the case as well, but occasionally, animals are euthanized. Terry Engel, a professor within the Animal Sciences Department, noted that it is mostly small animals that face euthanasia. Kevin Pond, who heads the Animal Sciences Department, said that animals may be occasionally euthanized to study meat consumption as well, but this is never done at the university. Additionally, Pond said that CSU has been working to launch an online simulation for dissection. According to Pond, CSU and its Animal Sciences Department pride themselves on the humanity of the practices they have endorsed, and they are open to looking more forward to implementing more humane and practical alternatives in the classroom.
The city of Fort Collins says the steadily increasing population has increased the number of crashes and traffic incidents. Head of traffic operations for the city of Fort Collins, Joe Olson, said the city has seen an increase of crashes in the past 5 years. They are up about 22% from 2012. Since 2000, the population in the city has increased more than 32%. That number continues to rise each year. The rising population of northern Colorado brings ever-increasing traffic along with more car crashes. Olson said that 47% of crashes are drivers hitting other cars. Compared to other similar cities in Colorado, Fort Collins has the second lowest rate of crash deaths. Olson said drivers can reduce the risk of crashes by minimizing their distractions. He defined cell phones, music, and distracting passengers as factors that steal drivers' attention away from what's happening on the road.
The Office of International Programs brought yet another great speaker to CSU this week. Our news anchor Marla Lundak attended the event last night and gives you all the details.
On Monday evening, the Colorado State University Office of International Affairs welcomed Lima Jiboy, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, to the Laurie Student Center. In 2011, Lima Jiboy and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf shared the Nobel Peace Prize after leading a women's peace movement that helped end the Second Liberian Civil War in 2003. Lima was born in Liberia in 1972 and was only 17 when the Liberian Civil War began. In her own words, she described the experiences going from a child to an adult in a matter of hours. Lima began by telling her inspirational stories and recalling her experiences on spreading peace throughout the world.
You have the choice to say, I object to any system that tends to divide us.
Lima spoke heavily on the importance of keeping faith in humanity and not to give up even in the darkest of situations. She stressed that all people have humanity in common. She inspired the crowd by telling them to unify their communities simply by speaking out to one person and getting to know them.
We have more in common than we want to make ourselves to believe. So we have our common humanity. That's all we have. And we said, with this common humanity, we're going to work together to build peace in this nation.
Toward the end of her speech, there was a Q&A segment, and I had the chance to speak with one of the students who got to ask Lima for some words of wisdom for African students at CSU.
Remember, first of all, that we are Africans, and that it is in our blood. No matter how many years we live in the United States, we will be still Africans. And I have always thought that, but it was really important coming from her, given the place where she comes from. Not forgetting what you can give back, you know? Like, the rest of the world has so much due to Africa, right? Now, what can we give back to Africa as African students?
Lima is one of just 49 women to be given this prestigious award, and since her victory, she still travels the world to spread words of peace and unity.
To find out more about speakers and events like this, check out www.international.colostate.edu. Willis, what do you think about these speakers that the International Programs Office is bringing to campus?
I think it's really cool. I was so surprised when I found out that CSU was bringing a Peace Prize laureate here, and I didn't get to go listen to her, unfortunately. I was out of town, but from what I understand, she just had a great talk, and people really seem to benefit from it.
Yeah, and it's cool that, you know, we can bring these, you know, Nobel Peace Prize winners and, you know, other people like that out to campus. It's, you know, it's what makes CSU such a great place.
It really does. It's a neat opportunity for everybody. Well, that's all we have for news, but coming up, Sierra Cymes has the full weather forecast.
Then later on, we have sports and entertainment.
Tune in to KCSU, your student-run radio station at Colorado State University. Live 24 hours a day, every day at 90.5 FM and kcsufm.com. Live local new music now, and news, talk, and sports. KCSU, the radio voice of Colorado State, on the air since 1964.
You're watching CTV, produced by Colorado State University students, bringing you news, weather, sports, and entertainment from campus and beyond. CTV live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on campus and Fort Collins on Channel 11. Repeats at midnight, 8 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m.
The Rocky Mountain Collegian is your student-run news and information platform. Pick up your paper on campus or around Fort Collins Monday through Thursday with special editions Fridays. And check out collegian.com anytime for all the latest updates. News, sports, entertainment, opinion, and more. The Rocky Mountain Collegian, serving Colorado State since 1891.
College Avenue has been your student magazine for the last 10 years. College Avenue prints once a month covering topics that are relevant to the CSU and Fort Collins community. We also print special editions like the graduation guides at the end of each semester, the best of CSU each fall, and the orientation guide each summer. Look for us on racks around campus, off campus, or online at collegian.com under the College Avenue tab.
Welcome back to CTV. With your weather, I'm Sierra Cymes. Currently, we're looking at our live cam with that American flag outside of our local Colorado State University Laurie Student Center, and it is waving with the breeze. That was not the case earlier today. We had some gusts up to 65 miles per hour today, as well as a recorded gust of 100 miles per hour in Colorado Springs. Now, the reason for all of this wind is actually due to a jet stream that has come from Canada into California, which is part of those precipitation that we saw last week in California there, and that has brought us through Colorado. Thankfully, that jet stream is passing through Colorado and moving towards eastern United States there, but that was the reason for all of that wind. Now, currently it is 41 degrees outside. We have a 9-mile-per-hour wind from the southwest, and it is going to stay calm throughout tonight, so that is some good news. Sunset was at 5:59. These sunsets are getting later and later into the day as we move towards our summer solstice. Now, into tonight, we can expect some cooler temperatures. We're looking at some 20s and 30s along western Colorado, 31 in Grand Junction, 10 in Alamosa, very chilly there. Along the I-25 corridor, some mid to high 20s, 31 in Denver, 29 here in Fort Collins. Along eastern Colorado, some low 20s, 23 in Burlington, 24 in Sterling. Into tomorrow, we can expect some 40s and 50s along western Colorado, as well as a 61 in Grand Junction. Very warm, very pleasant there. 60s as well along the I-25 corridor, some mid-60s. 67 in Denver, 64 in Fort Collins, 70 in Pueblo, as well as in southeastern Colorado, 72 in Lamar, 70 in Burlington, some high 60s over in northeastern Colorado. Now into tomorrow, we can expect a little bit calmer wind. It's going to be very nice in the morning, 43 degrees for your 9 a.m. commute. Into the afternoon, some gusts, but not too windy. 60-mile-per-hour gusts expected, 59 degrees, and cooling off into your 4 p.m. evening commute at 57. Now into the end of our week, we can expect some very warm temperatures, pushing into the 70s for Friday at the end of our week, and those overnight lows are actually very pleasant for those weekend late night getaways. For Saturday and Sunday, we are expecting some 60s though as the clouds come in, 69 for Sunday, as well as some 60s for Monday and Tuesday, low 60 for Tuesday. But overall, some warmer temperatures and some very calm winds, which is very, very welcome. Now, that's all for weather. Up next, sports with Tim McCall.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft. To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60. Now I get it.
Hello Rams, I'm Tim McCall, here to keep you updated with all the latest and greatest in the world of Rams sports. For CSU men's basketball, the regular season has come to an end, and the team is currently in Las Vegas waiting for their first matchup of the Mountain West Conference tournament. This week, after the conclusion of the regular season, the Mountain West Conference handed out its two most important individual awards. This year, both awards were given to CSU Rams. Head coach Larry Eustace was honored with the Mountain West Coach of the Year Award, and senior guard John Clavell was honored with the Mountain West Player of the Year Award. Clavell averaged 21.2 points per game and had 13 double-doubles in 18 contests versus Mountain West opponents. Eustace won the Coach of the Year after leading the Rams to a 13-5 record within the conference. After being picked to finish 7th in the conference in the preseason polls, Eustace was able to guide the Rams to a second-place finish in the Mountain West. In addition to Eustace and Clavell's recognition, senior big man Emmanuel Amagbo was also named to the All-Mountain West Conference first team. CSU is ranked number 2 in the Mountain West tournament and will play their first game this Thursday at 7 p.m. They will take on the winner of Air Force versus Wyoming, which will be played on Wednesday. Don't miss CSU playoff basketball this week as they make a run for the Mountain West title and the March Madness bid that comes along with it. Coach Eustace is not the only CSU coach who has been recognized for his efforts this season. Earlier today, it was announced that the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association named CSU distance coach Art Cymes as the Men's Assistant Coach of the Year for the Mountain Region. Cymes was given the award after he led the distance runners at CSU to an incredible season. 3 of Cymes' runners, Grant Fisher, Gerald Mock, and Cole Rockhold, qualified for the NCAA Division I Indoor Track and Field Championships. At the Mountain West Conference Championships, these 3 runners, along with fellow Ram Jefferson Abbey, finished 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the 3,000 meters. All 4 Rams broke the meet record for the fastest time in the 3,000 meters. It is performances like these that led to Cymes earning Assistant Coach of the Year honors. In further track and field news, the CSU Rams are now ranked 8th in the country in the most recent U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association poll. This marks the highest ranking a CSU track and field team has ever earned. Prior to this season, the Rams had never ranked higher than 34th in the country, which happened last season. This year, the Rams have been ranked every single week and have not fallen lower than 12th in the nation. Junior shot putter Mustafa Hassan has continued to lead the Rams, and his Mountain West record-breaking throw of 69 feet and 10.75 inches is 2.5 feet further than the next best throw by anyone in the NCAA this season. Hassan will look to break his own Mountain West record for the furthest throw when he participates in the NCAA Division I Indoor Track and Field Championships, where he will be joined by 5 CSU teammates. The meet will take place on March 10th and March 11th. Be sure to check out collegian.com to see if your Rams can continue to break records and bring more awards back home to Fort Collins. That's all we have for sports today, but don't go anywhere because up next it's Ryan Crist with all the latest in entertainment.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. Go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
What is up, Rams? My name is Ryan Crist, your entertainment anchor, and I cannot believe spring break is like 3 days away. But before we go, we got to take a look into the world of entertainment. With Beauty and the Beast coming out in 10 days, I thought I would take a look to see what critics are already thinking of this movie, and it's not what I expected. There are a lot of mixed reviews, but it's pretty consistent throughout. Most critics are saying that it's a touching movie and certainly not a bad one. Yet it's still missing something. The plot is rushed, the songs aren't that good, and frankly, there just isn't anything new about it, which is an interesting response saying it's a remake. But who knows? I still have faith that this is a good movie, and these critics are just being a little bit too picky. I guess we'll just have to wait till the 17th to find out. With some more movie news, we see that everyone is asking Marvel the same question, and that is, are we going to see a new wave of R-rated superhero movies? This question was prompted after the release of Logan, a new R-rated Wolverine movie that is doing fairly well with fans and critics. So, people are wondering if this is the new Marvel formula, dark superhero movies that portray blood and gore and don't always end with a happy ending. Most critics say no due to Marvel's high pre-18 traffic, but they do believe that X-Men and Deadpool won't be the only superheroes to get an R-rated movie. Now, I think that they should do more of this. I mean, the comics didn't really hold back, and watching these Marvel movies, especially the Avengers, they are just the same plot line with different characters. So I'm glad to see Marvel is stepping away from the PG-13 realm and into the R-rated one. I mean, come on, it's Wolverine. He's literally a Wolverine. How can you not expect him to maul someone without getting a drop of blood on himself? While having multiple midterms and papers due this week, I did the responsible thing and decided to go into Old Town for a couple laughs. At Bob Blues Theaters, a local Fort Collins comedy improv group known as the Comedy Brewers were performing another one of their monthly shows this past weekend. At these shows, they play multiple fun games like Go Getting Started,
A lot of women's clothing. And one thing I've noticed, women's clothing compared to men's clothing, not enough pockets. I like to sparkle, is that so wrong? When my butt's to you, I want that sequins, and I want it to say juicy. I don't think it's so wrong for me to want it to say juicy and want
games where they can't talk, and games where they had to act out a made-up story.
Watch this move, because that expresses the strength of our heart.
They even got to interact with the audience.
Unreasonable.
Thank you.
You don't look a day over 39.
What? Thank you.
And they always left the audience laughing. I spoke with the group to learn more about the magic.
Right.
That is the magic.
This is a great question for tea time. I'm glad I've got the teacup. Improv is completely unscripted.
Yeah, that's
Nothing happens in terms of writing. We do get together just to know each other better and to be able to trust each other. That's really the essential element. Is to practice the games, but no specific stories or scripts.
The Comedy Brewers perform every month, and they will make you laugh your head off. This group is filled with talented people, and I recommend that you check them out. In some other funny news, we all know Saturday Night Live is a great funny show where writers, actors, and guest stars get to make fun of anything and everything in the news. And recently, with the election being in the news, Saturday Night Live has had a lot of material to work with in portraying both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. But now that the election's over, it's really just been Trump being portrayed. And our talented actor, Alec Baldwin, said he doesn't think he's going to do it much longer. Some of the decisions in the White House make some people worried, and he doesn't want to make fun of that anymore. Now, no matter what Alec Baldwin decides to do, I think he'll always be a funny and talented actor. I mean, let's look at his new movie, The Baby Boss. He's in that, right? That movie is just a masterpiece. For all you Harry Potter fans, in new or old out there, you have definitely heard or maybe had butterbeer before. A mythical drink that flows through the very veins of this book series and, well, the characters too. But until recently, there hasn't been a defined recipe. Places online have claimed this is how to make it, but just recently, Harry Potter World started experimenting what it would taste like, since it has never been described before in the books. So they came up with their motto for this recipe, smooth like shortbread and reminiscent of butterbeer. And after trying out a few recipes, they pitched their idea to J.K. Rowling and got 2 thumbs up. So I guess Harry Potter World now has the official butterbeer recipe. Of course, there are modified versions online, but for now, I guess it's their secret formula. Well, Rams, that is all the time we have for tonight, but stay tuned for Ram Life Entertainment tomorrow and have a fun spring break. Of course, not too much fun, well, unless I'm invited, but anyways, have a great night.